breakfast for this morning, day 3. It is a potato skillet. So we've got bacon, potatoes that we cooked last night, and then red and orange bell peppers, green onions all chopped up. I did everything pretty much pre-prepped, so it was easy to throw in. So what I did was chopped up green onions and then just put it in a Ziploc bag. Green onions, I find that they can stay pretty fresh. So I did this all on Thursday, and the green onions are still pretty crisp and crunchy. And then the peppers, what I did was I wrapped them in paper towel, dried them out, and then grabbed a new paper towel, and like that I wrapped them in the paper towel and then put it in the Ziploc bag so they could stay fresh and crunchy for today. And they did. It all turned out. We were gonna add eggs into that, but I think it won't fit.
Ow!
Did you just burn yourself?
No, almost though.
But yeah, it doesn't close. Ideally we would put this on the fire, but we didn't want to waste our firewood for a morning fire, so this
We're also new to cast iron cooking.
Yeah,
so
we've never done it before. So if you guys have any tips, tricks, anything like that, leave a comment below, and we would love to hear it.
Hey babe, what you doing?
Just paddling.
Going over a rip?
Just going out for a rip.
Nick is getting the fire ready. We've had a little bit of a crazy day today. What happened?
Well, the boat trailer broke when we were trying to pull the boat out of the water.
Yeah, so
Which
hence...
led to an impromptu visit to the township of Temagami to visit
the marina.
Jim and what was his name? Dennis,
I think.
Des.
I think it was Dennis.
It was Des.
Anyway.
Who are now fixing the boat trailer.
Yeah.
And the boat is at our neighbor's.
Yes.
Beach.
So we are technically also in the water, but we kind of have a little bit of an interesting situation here with the beach. It's not really a beach, it's very weedy. So our lovely neighbors right next door to us offered up their beach because you can kind of drive the boat right up on there. So we have that secured on their beach for the night until we can pick up the trailer. Oh, it's really smoky. Until we can pick up the trailer tomorrow. And then we're driving home tomorrow. So it's been a little bit of a crazy day. We didn't really get home from the marina until about 5:30, 6 o'clock, just because it was about a half hour away. So we are trying to drink as much of the alcohol as we can, finish as much of the food as we can, so that way we can bring less tomorrow. And we're also burning some of our boxes, and we have 2 bags of firewood to go through. So, lots of firewood. It's gonna be a long night. Think we're up to it?
Yeah, we're up to it.
I might fall asleep at the fire.
Again? Spill your wine?
Spill my wine again. I totally spilt my wine last night all over me because I fell asleep.
All over you.
That was a little bit over you. Don't complain. Anyway, I'm gonna convince Nick to play Portuguese euchre with me. Hopefully I kick his butt because I totally lost at sequence yesterday, 3 games in a row, which is embarrassing because I was the one that has played before. He's never played. So, anyhow, we didn't get a chance to record those tips and tricks and whatever, but I will probably record that while we're driving tomorrow. Multitask, okay? So, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so it's the day after we got home. We wanted to do this yesterday, but we got home really late because we had a little bit of an eventful drive home. You want to talk about it a bit more?
So basically, we were in a significant accident on Highway 11 on our way home from up north. Luckily, we made it out okay, and no one was hurt in the accident.
Just our boat.
Yeah, the boat and trailer took a little bit of a beating.
But it's okay.
But yeah, we're okay. So we didn't get home until super late. We had some issues with getting the boat and trailer back here, so we didn't roll into the Niagara Falls until
midnight? I think it was
at least midnight.
Oh, sorry guys. Hey Google, stop the timer. Gotta love Google Home. Anyway.
So now we're just playing catch up with all of this.
Yeah.
And we wanted to fill you guys in with how our weekend ended.
So,
apart from that, it was really good.
Yeah. So apart from the little mini accident,
It wasn't really a mini accident.
yeah, the significant accident, we're fine, everybody's fine, and we still wanted to close off the video giving our tips for camping. So the first one that we came up with was have a dining tent.
Yes, absolutely.
Dining tents, if you're car camping, you have the space, and a dining tent really helps you enjoy the whole experience that much more. If it's raining and you can't just be outside, a dining tent comes in like super clutch.
Absolutely. Gives you somewhere that you can eat out of the weather.
Yeah.
And it allows for storage.
And it kind of protects you from the elements like mosquitoes and stuff. So into storage, tip number 2 is try and organize all your stuff into different totes. So for us, we have 3 main totes for like Tupperwares for our supplies that don't just include our clothes. So tote number 1, we have 2 big ones and then one that's slightly smaller. So the first big one has all of our cooking stuff. I won't go into the details of what we pack, but it's basically just like pots, pans, everything that we need to make dinner. Big tote number 2 carries our propane barbecue and our propane stove and lighters and newspaper, like all the stuff that we need to make fire and make our food on the stove
cook,
and
yeah.
the cooking, the big cooking stuff. And then the smaller tote has the random stuff like mallet, hatchet, extra tarps, rope. We'll go into the details of that later, but it's just like our miscellaneous stuff.
Right.
Tip
Tip
number,
number 3?
that was tip number 2.
So number 3 would be big water bucket.
Big water bucket.
So most of the time we are camping in provincial parks and they have like water refill stations, but they're never really close by. You kind of have to walk a ways to get to them. And in our campsite stuff, we have little wash basins, and we used to use those and just make many trips.
Oh, too much work.
But it was a lot of work. So always bring like a collapsible large water bucket. Just makes life real easy. Again, like because we're car camping, it's really like a cheap vacation. You're setting up your own resort. So making things easier for yourself is just gonna make it so you can relax more while you're out in the woods. So
yeah, and that's number 3. So number 4, mosquito coils. Now, bug repellent is great, but if you can get mosquito coils, they're amazing. They come in 10 packs for the most part. You can get them really anywhere. They're small enough that you can probably even bring them if you're not just car camping, if you're going backpacking, but they're really good. And the best part is if you have a fire ban, which we did last year, and you can't use citronella candles, these you can use. Yeah, so they're great. So that was number 4. Number 5.
your solar powered lights.
Ooh, solar powered lights. I've done this in the past. I haven't done this year again because we don't have the lights anymore. But little lanterns, solar powered lanterns that you can get at any store.
Like any garden center.
Yeah, any garden center.
They don't have to be fancy.
No, not at all. Like cheap. As long as they work. You stick them around your campsite, and if you have decent, like do it in the daytime so you can see where the sun is, because that's the only way they're gonna work. But if you stick them where the sun is to charge them, they'll come on automatically at night, and Nick likes to put them near
large rocks or like boulders or stumps or anything that's on your campsite that you may not see in the dark, and you like when you leave your tent in the middle of the night, you don't want to trip on them.
It's a really, I've done that many times. Last trip I've tripped a lot. I have like little marks on my toes. Anyway, so that's a really good tip. That's tip number 5.
Tip number 5.
Tip number 6 is, baby wipes. Now, we are gross when we camp, and we don't really we are gross. We are gross.
Everybody's gross when
we
they
don't
camp.
take showers, because who wants to pay money to take a shower in the public
You just
showers?
swim in the lake.
Yeah, so we either swim in the lake and use biodegradable soap, or we take our baby wipe showers. These cannot wash your hair, so for girls who have hair that gets greasy, that's where dry shampoo comes in. But baby wipes are really great for wiping your feet before you get into the tent at night, because your feet get disgusting. They're great for just, honestly, sometimes I use it to wipe my face if I feel like it's been really sweaty. I usually get the unscented one, so it's not as bad for your skin.
And they burn.
Yeah.
It's less waste.
So, baby wipes. That was tip number 6, I think.
I just thought of one. Always bring your own TP.
Oh yes, this is big.
Because the provincial parks often run out of TP.
You will run out.
And you can tell them that they need to refill it, but it may not. get to them anywhere near.
And of
soon
course,
enough.
you
So-
can go to the washroom in the forest, but when you're car camping, you're
No, you
generally
can't.
really close to other people,
Yeah.
so you can't do it because that's just awkward. So you have to go use the comfort stations, and they're few and far between, and you don't want to always walk to the next closest one. So if you need to, bring your own toilet paper. Super helpful.
For the refills.
Yeah. That's number 7. Tip number 8 is...
Things like I always bring like my charcoal barbecue because I like to dabble a little bit with that.
Okay, so
And
bring all
then,
the extras that you might...
we bring card games and board games and
We
things
do
like
bring
that to
board
do
games.
at night, so that if we aren't sitting by the fire, we're entertained.
Yeah,
We have something to do.
it's a big
and,
one.
You know, and like explore the parks too. Like there's always camping, or not camping, but like hiking trails. You can rent canoes and kayaks and things like that. And
Yeah, really look into what you can rent there because we were renting paddle boards, canoes. We brought our own boat so we can bring that. You know that already because of the whole fiasco with the boat. But there's a lot of stuff you can do when you're camping. So that would be like the tips on the activities. And my last tip is probably, this is like Flo, my dad, coming into play right now. And it's bring extra tarps and bring a big tarp. Nick's not a huge fan of the big tarps. I'm a big fan of the big tarps
Why am I
because
not a fan of the big tarp?
you don't like putting it up.
What big tarp?
I have a really large tarp that I like to put up on top of the whole site.
Oh, to tent off your whole
Yes.
site. Yeah.
Because, well, not over the whole site, but if you put it over like the back end, then that way if it's raining, you have even more place to hang out other than just your dining tent. But that's just my little like extra tip. That's like, we don't even really use that much, but if you're maybe planning on being there for days on end.
Always have extra tarps. Always have extra ropes.
Yeah. Ooh, and my last tip, this is tip number 10. Buy and bring good coolers.
Yes.
Don't
Don't skip out on the
No.
coolers.
Don't
Because
just
you'll
go
be
to-
buying a lot of ice.
Yeah, we did that. We wasted so much ice. We just bought, because Canadian Tire had a sale, so we just bought another really good cooler. So we have 2 pretty decent coolers.
2 good coolers.
And we only bought ice Saturday and Sunday, and then the rest of the days, it just kept cold enough.
And we
that-
typically buy ice before we go.
Yes.
Like this time when the most recent time we went,
It
we
was
couldn't
too
get
early.
to our ice supply.
Yeah. But anyway, those are our big tips. We're going to do another video later on. We have 2 more camping trips coming up, so if I can think of anything else that I want to add in, we will. But we're going to do another video on our whole list of camping supplies, which I will also include in the description bar of that video. And honestly, we've had some experience with this. We've probably figured out exactly how to car camp.
We've got it down to a
Yeah,
science.
we got it down. We even got down like our setup. Oh, it's perfect.
We didn't yell at each other once this year.
No, our first year. Whoo, boy, that was rough.
She doesn't get it.
But anyway, that's it for today's video, or this weekend's video. By the time you guys are watching this, it'll probably be the week after we get home, just because, like you already know, it was crazy getting home, and now we have to deal with insurance companies and all that, so I'm not going to have as much time. But I will try to get this up before we go to New Orleans in a week and a half. That's a whole other video you guys are going to see. But anyway, bye guys.